Greetings, Divine Reflection. Welcome back to my channel. It's such an honor to have you here. If you're new to my channel, hi, my name is Idalis. I'm a spiritual healer, psychic, and astrologer, and on my channel I love to talk about esoterica, the occult, and give you practical tools for the spiritual journey. If that's something that interests you, definitely consider hitting subscribe, the like button, comment down below, let me know your thoughts, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you never miss a video. In today's video, we're going to be discussing 5 different types of smudge tools, and if you check out my most recent blog post, you will get all of these 5 smudge tools listed out in very quick descriptions, so if you ever need a guideline, it's there for you. You can just whip it out and know exactly what the spiritual and magical uses are for each of these smudge tools and herbs. Plus, you'll get 2 exclusive smudge tools that I don't talk about in this video. And you'll also get an explanation of how best to work with these herbs, so I hope you enjoy. If you are unclear about what smudging is, the definition for smudging is also in the blog post, but I'll give a quick definition here. Smudging is actually quite a new term to describe the clearing of energy. So you can smudge yourself to clear energy, you can smudge a space in order to cleanse the energy, you can also smudge your spiritual items, your ritual item. You could smudge crystals, you could smudge your jewelry, you could smudge your dog, right? So whatever you want to like just clear the bad energy from, that's what smudge tools are for. And with all of that being said, let's get into these smudge tools. So the first smudge tool we're going to talk about is white sage, or Salvia apiana. And the first thing you should know about working with herbs like white sage is that Native Americans believed that everything had a spirit, right? That all things were imbued with the Great Spirit itself. And these herbs were no exception and were representations of ways to connect to this higher force of nature. White sage grows in the deserts of Southern California, and this is actually the only place that white sage grows. This herb grows in shrubs of silver-toned leaves and has a very strong aromatic smell. If you've ever cooked with culinary sage, the scent is similar to that. Now, the spiritual use of white sage actually varies across the different indigenous cultures in the Southern California region. It has been used in initiation ceremonies to remove bad luck. It has been used in healing rituals and also has been given as gifts. The popularity of the usage of white sage began actually during the hippie movement of the late 50s, 60s, and 70s, right? This boom of the new age and embrace of Native American culture. It is only in recent years that white sage has been used to promote spiritual wellness in this new age of spirituality. If you are going to use white sage, be sure to not only respect the history of its usage and the peoples that have used the sacred herb for centuries, but also to source this plant responsibly. Because of the popularization of its usage, white sage is actually an endangered species, and because of it, native cultures aren't able to access their own plants, and white sage is being poached by the tons from native land, from both private land and public land. So it's very important that you not only shop native, support native businesses. I'll link one of my favorite websites in the description below that's native and indigenous owned, but also to remember that this plant has a really rich history and should be respected as such. If you are going to use white sage in your personal rituals or simply to help to, you know, smudge your space and clear negative energy from your space, here's what you should know. In my experience, white sage acts as a reset button. So not only does it clear negative energy, but also any intention put onto a space or an object, right? It kind of wipes the slate clean. When you use white sage in the home or in a closed space, it's best to open a window because the smoke that comes from white sage is very thick. And you also want a place for the energy that you're trying to move out to go. So you want to create space for that energy to flow out of your home, out of wherever you're burning the sage. Okay, next up we have cedar or cedrus, and this particular tree are actually not native to the Americas. Cedar is native to the Himalayan mountains of Southwest Asia. I'm sure though that you've seen cedar before. If not, cedar has these dark green spider-like, finger-like leaves that spread out and are quite thin. Although cedar is not native to the Americas, it still has kind of a nostalgic scent of the holiday season, at least in my opinion, when you burn it. When you do light cedar, it does tend to burn quite fast and the flame tends to rise, so definitely make sure that you are burning cedar in a fire-safe bowl. Abalone shells and soapstone dishes are most common for the use of smudging. Based on my experience working with cedar throughout my many years of being a spiritualist, it has a very uplifting energy that tends to invite just an overall sense of positivity. It's also really good for purifying a space and kind of shifting the energy of a space for a brighter atmosphere. And also I think is just really great to burn during the fall and winter season because it just reminds me of the cold and being indoors and I don't know, like the snow and the forest, and that's like a fall winter thing, right? Forests are like specifically a winter thing. Okay, next up we have Palo Santo, whose Latin name is Bursera graveolens, and Palo Santo actually grows in South America and is harvested when Palo Santo trees are in a stage of decay. It is only then that Palo Santo is harvested. The translation for the word Palo Santo translates to holy wood in the Spanish language and is sold in these 4-inch sized light colored wood sticks and are sold either individually or in packs of 4 or 5, I would say. And upon lighting Palo Santo, you're immediately enwrapped in kind of its warmth and cozy feelings, as you know, like burning wood tends to bring, and has a very earthy smell that's very grounding. The history behind Palo Santo is quite interesting. The shamans of South America have used Palo Santo in their healings to cure flu and cold symptoms, to aid in the healing of mental illness and stress of the mind and of the body, as well as to banish evil spirits. Palo Santo in your own personal life in your personal usage of Palo Santo is really good for spiritual protection and to clear negative energy, as well as to generally just promote a sense of relaxation. Also, be sure to source Palo Santo responsibly. Next up, the fourth smudge tool on the list is Yerba Santa, whose Latin name is Areodictium californicum. Yerba Santa in the Spanish language translates to holy herb. It sprouts purple bell-shaped flowers, although it is only its dark green leaves that get harvested for the use of smudging. In my personal opinion, Yerba Santa is a very acquired smell, okay? The smell of Yerba Santa is quite pungent and very sharp, so just keep that in mind when you're deciding which smudge tool is best for you. However, the spiritual use of Yerba Santa is incredibly potent and can be used to promote spiritual connection, ancestral connection, and wisdom. It's also really good for clearing negative energy from your space and your body, your energy field, and so forth. Yerba Santa can also be consumed as a tea for colds and stomach aches, and a poultice of its leaves can be used to treat wounds, as well as sore muscles. And lastly, we have tobacco, whose Latin name is Nicotiana tobacum. Tobacco is actually native to the Americas and is a herbaceous plant that is harvested for its leaves. Now, while tobacco is not traditionally a tool for clearing and smudging, it can be used as a offering and a prayer to whatever ritual it is that you are partaking in or leading or creating for yourself. Traditionally, tobacco has been revered as a sacred herb within Native American culture, and it is used by the quick inhale and sudden exhale of tobacco, with the release of the tobacco smoke being the intention for the ritual, being the intention of your prayer, being then given into the space or being carried by the wind. I came across this information early on in my spiritual journey and thought it was just a really beautiful way to set that intention and to connect with the spirits of air and of nature, of smoke and fire and earth. And with that being said, that concludes today's video. That is all of the 5 smudge tools that I have listed out for you. There are 2 more smudge tools that you can read up on in my blog post, as well as more information and guidance of how to use these smudge tools. Definitely like this video if you enjoyed it. Don't forget to comment down below, share this video with anyone who you think might need it, and subscribe, darling, because I make videos every single week. So you'll definitely want to tune in. I love you so much. Mwah! And I will see you next week. Bye!